we have Nathan back with us. Thank you for joining us again.
It was a pleasure.
Why is assessment important?
Yeah, so assessment is crucial as it helps us gather, analyse and reflect on information. And it provides us with the evidence to make informed and consistent judgments to improve the future student learning. So we're able to gather that information with assessment, then we're able to analyse it, reflect on it, and then provide the right learning environments for students utilising that information we gathered from the assessment. So yeah.
So how can we provide authentic and relative assessment?
So it's great that you say that, because the assessment needs to be relevant, it needs to be authentic, and it needs to be inclusive. Okay, so we need to provide these assessment opportunities that are all those things that students can get the most out of it, and teachers can get the most out of it. I look at Tomlinson's work at where he discusses assessment-centered classrooms, and this assessment refers to a variety of tasks where students given opportunities to demonstrate their knowledge. So again, we talk about that notion of variety, and we talked about it with curriculum and we talked about it with pedagogies, and it's the same with assessment. We need to provide variation in our assessment, so we're ensuring that we're able to cater for the different strengths of students, and that they're able to apply their knowledge in different forms. So we also need to make sure that it's aligned with the knowledge we're giving. So we need to provide assessment that aligns with that knowledge that we've provided for the student. Or if it's diagnostic, we need to find out the information that links to the content knowledge we're providing for our students. We also got to provide persistent formative assessment. So it's ongoing throughout the semester. We need to provide that formative assessment that ensures that we are getting the information out of the students that we need, but we need that to be inclusive. So we needed to ensure that students are succeeding and not quitting and not disengaging because the assessment isn't inclusive as well. And we need to provide feedback. The feedback is crucial, that it's positive, but it's also constructive, and the students are able to use that feedback and apply it to the learning and get the most out of it. We also look at Hay and Penny's work on the principles of assessment in our classroom. And we need to look at implementing diagnostic, which shows us where students are at. We then need to implement that formative assessment, which is ongoing throughout students' learning. And then we need to articulate a criteria for achieving their goals. So that's our summative assessment, where we look at what the student has learned throughout the unit of work. We need to reward hard work and praise the product of students' efforts and strategies, and then evaluate the learning goals rather than performance goals. So we need to concentrate on the learning goals rather than how they've performed. We then need to apply it to life, and that's the authentic. We need to apply it to life and make sure it's educative itself. Also, we need to provide that multiple responses, so students have a variety of ways that they can respond and that they can pass on that information. And assessment should uncover further learning as well as connect to the curriculum and pedagogy, and should be efficient. So it should be easy to do and not time consuming for the teacher or for the students, so we can concentrate on that learning specifically.
Are you able to provide an assessment that may not be inclusive and give us one that is inclusive?
Yeah. So firstly, I'll provide a few examples of assessments that were mentioned to us in our tutorial, and they were provided by Justin O'Connor, and he provided a whole bunch of different assessment ideas, and those were from portfolios to event tasks, creating gymnastics routines, playing a game, doing dance routines, maybe doing student logs, student journals. These are all examples of effective assessments. Peer assessment, self-assessment, students participating in self-assessment. These are all experiences of ideas of some assessments. But I wanted to draw upon an example that Justin O'Connor talked about in that tutorial, and it was an example using different types of bats, and this example is, say, in we're wanting to assess how students strike a ball, and so how would we assess that is inclusive? And if we was to say it wasn't inclusive, we'd just give student a cricket bat and just expect them, give them 3 shots and just expect them to see how well they hit it. And this isn't inclusive, because we might have students from different cultures that have never even picked up a bat, and they might have played baseball or played tennis or something like that. So it's not inclusive. So what Justin talked about was having a variety of different bats. So we had a tennis racket, we have a really thin cricket bat, we have baseball bat, we can use a cricket stump, and you can have a variety of different rackets and bats of different sizes, and also a variety of different balls that are easier to hit, larger balls that are easier to hit than smaller balls which are less easier to hit. And students are able to choose one of these rackets or bats and balls and try and hit with that racket, and then if it's too easy, they can make that move up and then choose another racket that might be a bit harder. And that's a way of we can assess the striking that is more inclusive, where if students are able to choose and the instruments used are varied, it gives more chance for students to experience success and then to develop their skills, so then we can provide learning that's at their level, and then they're able to be included and not feel like they're a failure because they didn't choose the accepted item of or accepted bat to use. So that's just one example in a striking sense of how an assessment can be either exclusive or inclusive.
Fantastic. Well, that's it. We're wrapping up our 3 final episodes, so thank you very much for that.
It's been
I
a
hope
pleasure.
you've all enjoyed that.
I hope the viewers can get something out of what we've shared about curriculum, about pedagogy, and about assessment, and we hope that it'll help your practice to be more inclusive. Thank you, Liz.
Thank you.